Hello fellow smashers, this is FS Smash and today we're back with more Fire Emblem Three Houses Famitsu articles. The Famitsu articles that have just dropped on May 29th just got translations from Serene's Forest, so I'll be mostly reading off that. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So the two villains that we got introduced to, the Reaper Knight and Flame Emperor, just got their translations out. So the Reaper Knight is in the streets of Garrick Mach. There are rumors of knights spiriting away people at night, but the dreaded knight, who supposedly was just a rumor, suddenly appears before the protagonist. Their appearance evokes an ominous presence as if they're not from this world. This kind of feels much like those spirits you fight in Fire Emblem Fates, those characters from Valhalla, that characters that aren't supposedly real and appear in Nor and Hoshido. There are unique villains. They're in fact not actual unique classes or multiple enemies you end up fighting, and that goes same case goes with the Flame Emperor, a mysterious figure who acts behind the scenes around the monastery. They hide their body with a mask and cape, and their true identity is a complete mystery. The thieves who attacked the students from the Officers Academy at the beginning of the game seem to be working under the orders of this Fire Emperor. So those brigands that were attacking Byleth and actually got him seem to be those of the Flame Emperor who hired them to attack. So these two obviously have some sort of score to deal with Garrick Monastery, with the Church of Cerros as a whole. As we do note that it's been pretty obvious so far due to the leaks. If you guys don't know the leaks, please skip a minute ahead. But the leaks state that the church is indeed evil and we will be taking them down. Many people suspected this, but a few people may not notice, so let's try to keep this secret to many people. So going down to more of the different transactions we've received. With the character, the old man character that I made previous mention to, apparently there is a bit of rebellion occurring around this figure. So his name is Sir Lantos. He plans to have a rebellion in the Holy Kingdom of Fargus, where chivalry is held high. Sir Lanto, a ruler of Gasper Castle within the castle, raises an army against the church, and the protagonists and their students are tasked by the Officers Academy to help complete the task of suppressing this rebellion. And so, quite notably, this character is actually the father of Ash, under the rule of the Blue Lions. Ash is the adopted son of Sir Lantos, so this does lead into a lot of, you know, different, this opens up to a lot of different things that could happen with all these nobles and stuff like that, and it's very interesting to see that one of the clip bits we got was of Sir Lanto, so he apparently has some sort of grudge with the church, so this is really interesting. Okay, so moving further on, there seems to be some sort of bond system that's coming back into Fire Emblem. Of course, a bond system, but this seems to be very akin to the pair-ups we've gotten from Fire Emblem Awakening and Fates. So use supports and coordination to excel in battle. In previous games, there were mechanics that made battling easier when close to characters to fight each other, and these mechanics are back. When characters deepen their bonds by socializing in the academy, they trigger coordinated attacks. Support conversations can be unlocked after conversing. Their support level increases further, improving the effects of coordinated attack. So coordinated attacks is when attacking an enemy, if there are nearby allies, they can target the same enemy in a coordinated attack. And a coordinated attack can be used, in addition to boosting the hit rate and avoid of the attacking unit. When certain units join in a coordinated attack, there are various potent effects like increased attack power. So moving further on, we also have coordinated gambits, which are the same thing. The same kind of coordinated attacks can be applied when characters with higher battalions use gambits. So that's another cool feature we can see, that Hubert here is doing a coordinated gambit attack with his allies and destroying Face, of course. Fire Emblem Awakening and Fire Emblem Fates pair-up system are making a return, but in the form of assisted support effects. So what the assisted support effects are: assisted follow-up at the end of the fight, the assist may perform a follow-up attack, or assisted guard, the assistant may protect the user from an enemy follow-up attack, reducing damage. And the last one, assistant recovery. At the start of each turn, the assistant may cast the heal spell on the user. So these essentially play out much like the dual strike and dual guard, but they seem to be taking more from the Awakening incarnation. But it doesn't seem like it's a guaranteed chance of happening, as it says may happen. So this is very interesting. Here we can see Lorenz and Hilda pairing up, so that's pretty neat. We also have certain map gimmicks making a return, like doors, chests, drawbridges, and we seem to have item drops coming back in. In the Garrick Monastery, walk freely about with the Officers Academy. There are facilities that can use to spend the protagonist's scroll gauge as the story progresses. More places will open. Here you can socialize with students, other people from the monastery. You can converse with people. You can take up quests. You can also help around the kitchen or the mess hall, in much like akin to Fire Emblem Fates. You can do teachers training, where you can have teachers train you and help increase your professional skills along with your with other students. These can result in perfect, good, okay, standard, or bad. Conversely, much like what I mentioned before, the greenhouse seems to play a very familiar role. As I suggested, you can grow your own kind of crops to feed people in the mess hall, or you can grow flowers, which is very interesting, as you can give those as gifts to certain people. So that'd be very interesting to see what you can do with that. Here we have the map, and apparently from what the Famitsu article states, you can fast travel. So this really indicates that the Garrick Monastery will be a pretty damn big place. I mean, the Officers Academy. So that's very interesting. Along with that, we also have this thing called Venture. This is the final activity you can choose during the weekend. So you can choose it during the weekends, not at the weekday. So these are very interesting. You can go on and do optional skirmishes, and each skirmish has a suggested level. So you can use this to carefully raise your character's levels, and more importantly, this can help with the mandatory battles at the end of each season. So that's very interesting. You also have certain characters that are required to be filled in that venture. So that's very interesting. You can also do a number of different ventures with different types of characters that are required, and you get to know more about the character's backstory. There are two characters that are required to be part of that venture, and they can interact, talk. So this is much like, I want to say, Squad stories from Valkyria Chronicles 4. So that's very interesting, I gotta say. We also get some of the new character profiles and crests. So Ferdinand, who seems to be hosting the personal skill confidence, hit rate and avoid increase by 15 when the user HP is full. He holds the minor crest of Cecil, I believe that's how it's pronounced. A minor crest that belongs to the divine Cecil. Bernadetta has her crest, personal skill Paranoia, and she has a personal skill Paranoia. If HP isn't full, attack is +5. She holds the minor crest of Indesh, a minor crest said to belong to divine Indesh. Mercedes holds the minor crest of Liam, and minor crest said to have belonged to Liam of the 10 Greats. She also has a lift to serve skill. When healing with white magic, she gets the same amount of HP that is recovered from using that skill, which is very interesting. Here we have Ash's skill, personal skill, Wisdom to Leaf. User can open doors and chests with Gao keys, so not gimmicks, being very akin to Ash's personal skill. Raphael has a personal skill known as Scavenger. User has a luck percentage chance to restore 10 HP at the start of each turn, so that's interesting. Here is Lancia, the eldest daughter of Duke Cordelia's family. She's the Academy's youngest student and somewhat of a magical prodigy. Okay, so her personal skill Prodigy increases experience points towards professor levels earned during battle is actually doubled, which is quite interesting. She also holds the minor crest of Karen, a minor crest said to belong to the Karen of the 10 Greats. So that is it with the Famitsu article. I covered most, if not all, the things from this article. I did make a previous video stating a lot about the other things I missed in this article. If you guys actually read this up yourself, I just went through any information I think that's important for you guys to know, or I couldn't cover in great deal as other YouTubers have, like Gas and Mangs, who has made great videos covering and breaking down it further than I could. And I also have some other videos you guys should check out. I recently did a discussion with Fire Emblem Three Houses, Fire Emblem Discussions, talking about Fire Emblem representation in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. So if you're really interested in that, I please recommend you to check it out. Links will be in the description and comments. It was a very good discussion. We talked about a lot about how Fire Emblem characters were maybe misrepresented, how they affected their own franchise along with Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. So I definitely think you should check that out. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you leave a like. Comment down below what you guys think. I want to hear you guys' opinions on what you guys think about the current Famitsu article information that has recently been dropped. And make sure you guys subscribe. I'll be doing as many Fire Emblem Three Houses videos as I can up until release, and we'll see if we can take the channel there. I plan to do other Nintendo related content, but Fire Emblem Three Houses is my go-to for the moment. So if you want more Fire Emblem Three Houses, If you want more Fire Emblem Three Houses, make sure you subscribe, and thank you for watching. Have a great day. Peace.